welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth,
I am Helen.
and we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow. So we've noticed that we have a bunch of new followers, and people have been asking us to do a delve into our past, how we grew up, where we live, that kind of thing. So we thought we'd start the podcast with that. And for those of you that have been around for a while, this may be going over some old ground, but
it's just a quick reintroduction
to us,
to who we are,
to the Toads. So let's start with, yes, the elephant in the room. We are sisters. I know we look nothing alike, so it's very difficult. We are 2 of 6 children. There was one time there were 5 of us at the time, 4 of us at the time. I think there were only 4 of us. But we were in a bookstore in Indiana, nowhere near where we grew up. My father walked in, and the bookseller said, "You have one over there, one over there, one over there, and one over there." My mother was hiding in the corner. She looks nothing like any of us.
Right.
But she always says, "We got the Graham outside and the Damiano inside," because we're just like her. At least the 2 of us. Anyway, Helen and I are number 2 and number 3 of 6 children.
Right.
So, go ahead.
We have recently come full circle and moved back into the house that we both grew up in. Surprisingly enough, since we're sisters. My parents bought this house 3 months before I was born.
1969 we moved in.
Yeah.
September of 1969. There you go. Now you know how old I am.
Maybe it's 3 years older than I am.
Yes, I am.
So
that's why I have the big brain. 3 years. Go ahead.
We moved back in November to help my mom out. She has lived in this house since 1969. The year we have had is that we moved in November because our oldest brother passed away, and then in April of 2023, our youngest brother passed away. So we lost the bookends of the family. It's been a rough year, but we're kind of coming out of it as much as we can.
Yes, there is still a lot of getting over. I'm not crying every day.
I was going to say, I can tell you that it happened without having to pause the video, so
right.
There we go.
It's getting a little bit better.
Yeah, we grew up in Montclair, New Jersey. We are back in Montclair, New Jersey.
We are starting our lives over here,
right?
Which is okay, because the main reason we're here is to just make sure my mom has support and company, and that she's happy.
Right.
We make sure that she's happy. So we all like to knit. We all like to read. We're all big fans of Survivor. So we have our Survivor that we do at night and that kind of thing. And it's just, we like the same things to eat. So it's very easy when we're making dinner, except She doesn't do meat. So that's a teeny tiny problem.
You don't eat meat?
It's okay.
We'll do that.
Anyhow, we're eating more vegetarian.
Right.
But we throw in the meat sometimes because I'm a carnivore. I'm sorry. I like meat. It's just the way it is. Okay. Anywho, we love Montclair. Montclair is an amazing town.
Yes.
I mean, it's a really amazing town. And the nice thing about it is we now have trees all around and dirt that's really good for planting instead of sandy soil, so that Helen's garden is just doing so well.
Right.
She's got tomatoes.
Yes.
Lots and lots of tomatoes, and they're turning red. Actually turning red. It's not little green nubbins anymore. They're actually plum tomatoes. They're gorgeous. So
I bought our first mum.
It's opening. It's beautiful.
It's just,
my mom's birthday is on Wednesday. We're going to take her to the garden center, and we're going to go pick out mums.
Right.
Because we're going to have the entire front porch done up in mums. It's going to be so pretty.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really pretty.
And if we get to it, we'll do the back.
Okay.
So what we had said.
Yeah.
So there's an area out the back door. One might call it a patio. One might call it a dumping ground for everything for the last 30 years.
Potato.
But we have taken a lot of the dumping ground out, and we just want to power wash it and then just like load it with flower pots.
Yeah.
So whether that happens the fall or the spring, we'll see what happens. We'll see how far we get.
For Amanda, we're talking about the space outside the bike room.
Yeah.
So that you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Mary Beth and I run the business together.
Sorry. For those of you that are new, Amanda is sister number 3. So we should go back to that. Okay. So we're 2 of 6. Damien was the oldest, then me, then Helen, then Amanda, then Larry. He is the owner of the nephews. Whenever we're talking about the nephews, he is the owner of the nephews. He is the father of the nephews. And then John was the youngest. Jonathan was the youngest. And so when we refer to sister number 3, or if you're on any of our live broadcasts and Amanda pops up and she seems to know us more than she should, it's because she's sister number 3.
Generally, our correspondence with her is through this medium.
Okay. So anyway, you were talking about the business. Go ahead.
Oh, Mary Beth and I run the business. It is 2 of us, Toad Hollow. And with the year we've had, we've kind of, we stepped back a little bit, while we're figuring out what we're doing, but we are now stepping back in the fall. And,
slowly but surely coming back.
And coming up with, more solidified plans other than, I feel like doing this.
Right.
So.
One of the things we're doing is Friday, we are opening our Halloween shop. We have some bags. We've got some pot holders that we've been showing. We've got trick-or-treat buckets. We've got trick-or-treat bags. We're going to have some other things. So Friday, we're going to do a live at noon, and we're going to show you everything that we are going to be putting into the Halloween shop, which will be opening at 5 on Friday.
Sure.
5 o'clock on Friday. Okay, so 5 p.m. Friday the 8th.
Yeah, some of the things are limited quantities, and so it'll be we're doing a specified time for the opening.
Right, but we will be displaying everything on Friday. However, we have a Patreon page, and Helen will put the link down below. But if you are one of our patrons, you get a sneak peek on Thursday.
Right.
So you get to see everything ahead of time on Thursday. I will be putting up hints on Wednesday, and then Thursday you'll get the sneak peek.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to see all of that, come over to the Patreon page. The sneak peek is for all 3 tiers. Right. So if you want to come be a $5 member, that's fine. You get the sneak peek back. And this just, that money goes towards helping us do everything for the podcast, because pay for the behind the scenes stuff for the podcast. All right. So let us tell you about our weekend, because we did a quick live broadcast on Friday, but the nephews were coming. Right. So we had to keep it fast, because did I mention that the nephews were coming? It's very exciting. They live in Virginia. We see them not nearly as much as we would like to. So, and they're such nice boys. Right.
My brother and sister-in-law have done such a good job.
And they are the nicest boys. So there's Braden, he's 11 and in 6th grade. There's Cullen, he's 9 in 4th grade. And there's Declan, and he's 4 and he's just starting preschool. 5-day-a-week preschool.
Declan learned how to speak.
Yes. Declan has a motor mouth. He also is an imp in child's clothing, because he is so funny, but he's nonstop.
He's a little devilish.
Yeah. He was climbing up over the back of the chair that I was sitting on to shine a flashlight, because the greatest thing is he has a flashlight. Shine it in my eyes. Like, the eyes aren't what they used to be. You can't stop doing that. It's like, no, it doesn't hurt. Look. And it goes right into his eyeball. I'm like, stop that.
And then he was throwing balls at you.
Giggling.
He would go up behind her and he'd look at me as loud as you possibly can imagine.
Oh my gosh. We gave Braden, this past May, he had, it wasn't really a graduation, but he's going from 5th grade in one school to 6th grade in middle school.
He was promoted.
He was promoted from 5th grade to 6th grade. So there was a ceremony and that kind of thing. And, we couldn't go. We didn't realize when it was, and we couldn't have gone anyway. So, we wanted to get him something, not like really extravagant, but something that he could have fun with. We got him a spike ball, which is, I don't know if you've seen them, but it's a circular thing.
It's like a trampoline net.
But it's a net that goes over the circle, and then you have a ball that you slam into the net and it bounces out, and the other person is supposed to slap it back down again. And we thought the boys would have fun with that.
It's a great thing. It's very portable. They can take it to the beach. They can take it to their backyard. They can do
Right.
whatever they want.
And it's not huge.
Playing at their friends' houses, they can just grab it and bring it with them.
Yeah, and it can go into the storage area and then come back out again whenever they want without having to put it together each time, even though it's very, very easy to put together. The first thing was we had to blow up the balls because the balls came deflated. So we had to find a bike pump that had the right needle to do it. Luckily, we are the ants and we have everything. We had it, so we could do that. So that got set up. And then Braden and his dad were having a really good time playing with it. Declan was just taking the yellow balls and throwing them at me as I was trying to put things together. And Cullen played soccer with them for a few minutes, and then he went into to draw because he's very, very good with artistic things.
And he's very good at being independent.
Yes.
Because he has just so much people, and I can relate. And then he just goes off on his own and reads or draws or whatever.
Right. He made us a picture of a super cat that you will see going up behind us soon because we're gonna frame it and put it up because it's amazing. Right. Anyway, they are all huge sports fans. I mean, my brother is a huge sports fan. They are sports fans. They come from a family that half divided Green Bay Packers, half Baltimore Rams because their mother is a huge Baltimore Raven. Right. Sorry, Baltimore Ravens. The mother is a huge Ravens fan. Half Baltimore Orioles, half New York Mets, although
more Mets, I would say.
So Mets fan. Yeah. And can I tell you, there is absolutely nothing like the disgust in a 9-year-old's voice when they see a Yankee towel from a past life show up in a Mets house. He looked at it and he just looked at his father and said, "What is that doing here?" I'm so sorry.
I was a Yankee fan.
We were Yankee fans for a little bit. It wasn't like we were anti-Met fans. It was more we liked that particular Yankee team. It was a great team.
The Yankee team of the 90s was what got me back into baseball.
I mean, you have Derek Jeter. You have
Bernie Williams and Tino. And
Paul O'Neill. I mean, there were such good players. However, and Jorge Posada, that's it. Really, really, really good players.
Yeah.
So we explained that,
fans.
Maybe it was left over from a prior life. Utter disdain. Absolute disgust. But we had a wonderful time. Yes. We really did. I made the elevator lady spice cookies that my mom loves, so we had those ready to go. I went to make chocolate chip cookies and we had no chocolate chips.
I'm not even sure how that happened.
I don't know.
I think.
Did the mice come through?
I think the mice just took our chocolate chips.
The entire bag, because there wasn't even a bag left. There was just no chocolate. No, you never leave. So we made brownies instead, which I might add went over very well because I didn't even get them out of the pan. Right. And 3/4 of one pan was gone before I even realized it. So the brownies, it's my grandmother's recipe for brownies, and it's a good one.
And we had ice cream cake. We had real food in and amongst all of that.
Right.
Oh, and Declan is in the stage where he pretty much, I think, his main staple of food is macaroni and cheese.
And goldfish.
And so they brought up pre-made mac and cheese, the box mac and cheese for him that he eats at room temperature. He does not like it hot. But then we made our mac and cheese, and he tried his mother's, and he just looks at his mother and goes, "Well, that's the best mac and cheese ever."
Thank you very much.
Yes, it is.
I will agree with you. Yes, it is. But we had, they love Taylor's ham. Pork roll, Taylor's ham. So, being in Virginia, they don't always get it, so they have their special hams when they come up. So we had Taylor's ham sandwiches and mac and cheese and salad, and it went over really, really well. It was a fun night.
Yeah, it was so endearing. Larry tried to get Braden to make a Taylor's ham and cheese sandwich, and Braden said he didn't want it, but he was sitting next to his Aunt Amanda, And all of a sudden, he started putting a sandwich together, and Larry was telling him how to do it, and he said, "No, that's not how Aunt Amanda did it." And so he wanted his sandwich to be just like Aunt Amanda's, which I thought was really nice.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
It just, and we played Exploding Kittens, which is always fun. So, because,
Declan comes around and just tells everybody what you have.
but it was so funny because evidently when you play, there's a nope card. So if somebody plays something against you and you have a nope card, you can play the nope card and not have to do whatever
Right.
that thing is. And so Helen played a card, and Braden looks at her and goes, "I don't speak much Spanish, but this one I know. Negativo!" And he throws down the card. But then you can do the nope, dope, nope, or the anti-nope, or whatever. And if you have a nope,
I could then throw a nope on his nope.
and do the double nope. But the funniest thing was he played a card on his dad, and his dad did the whole negativo thing, and he just looks at him with a twinkle in his eye and goes, nope! And he had his own nope card. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really was. So anytime the nephews can come visit, we are down for it. And my mom had a really good time. She played the card game with us when she would play with one of us, and
Right.
it was just a really, really good day.
Yes.
So that was Friday.
Very good pre-birthday celebration for her.
Yeah, because they came up that was when they could come for her birthday. So it was good. It was really good. And my brother gave her a birdhouse that we have now hung in the tree in the backyard. So hopefully we will see some birds flying around it. But she's got her bird feeders back there and the birdhouse, and now she loves to watch them come. But it's very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So all of that. Do we want to? Is there anything else we need to do, or are we going to get into crafting things?
Are we crafting things?
Because you've been sitting there, very patiently waiting.
And it is 100 degrees outside.
But did you notice that Helen's in something new? Because it's beautiful.
I finished my collar sweater. I'll stand up. I did the ribbing for the sleeve instead of the I-cord, as I mentioned the other day. I brought it down to my natural waist, so it's not quite a crop, but not a full-on sweater. But I love it, and it is very, very warm and humid here, and it is not terrible wearing it.
No,
So,
I think they're, they breathe.
Right.
So.
But it is the collar sweater by Pip and Pin, and I'll put all the information down below. I knit it in our yarn.
Yarn that we dyed.
Right. Some pig. And I used just about 3 skeins.
Okay.
2.5.
How many did you take?
I had 5 50-gram skeins of it.
Oh, okay.
And I only had 2 tiny little balls left. So
okay.
2.5 skeins of yarn.
All right.
Fingering weight yarn. And I used a larger size, obviously. But I love it.
The color. It's beautiful.
I love
the stitch is so gorgeous.
On the top. I love the neck. I really love the neck.
It is a pretty neck.
So, shows off my butt bite very nicely. But yeah. And I did it in a fairly short amount of time.
Yes.
If I were actually, a decent podcaster, I would have a Ravelry page for it with my start date and everything. But
I was watching Steve from Leading Men Fiber Arts. He's got a new podcast called Stitch Please, and he was talking about how he is type A, so meticulous about the yarn and his projects, and when he starts them, when he finishes them, he doesn't do like meticulous notes or anything, but he's got definitely start and finish, and any yarn that brings in.
He gets a pattern for it. He notes it on Ravelry what pattern it's going to be,
and it's just, and then when he's ready to start, he just does random number generator, and it picks a project for him, and he goes and gets the yarn and gets started.
I mean, I realize how nice it is on that end that you're just ready to go, but all that wasted time.
Well, all the planning time, which I agree, you've got it all set out ahead of time and everything, and you're ready to go. But when I'm trying to plan things, it's more, okay, I've planned this sweater. Now I want to start it. I don't want to take the time to match all the yarn to all the other ones. I want to start this one now.
Also, by the time I get to the point where I do the random number generator, I hate that number.
Right.
I don't want to do that number. That's him.
Yes. Yes. I'm in awe. Yes. I'm in awe. Anyway, so maybe we will get to a point where we actually start writing things down.
Or at least, at the very least, make a Ravelry page as I start using it.
I don't even remember my Ravelry sign on half the time.
I do because I have to go in and get the links for the show.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. Half the time I don't even remember it. All right. Anyway, it is beautiful.
It is. And it is going to be a sweater that I wear a lot. It's comfortable.
It looks beautiful with skirts.
It goes with a skirt, high-waisted pants, over a dress, like a sundress, like what my best wearing. So it's very versatile. I adore it.
Yeah. And the color is awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously awesome.
I love the color, yeah. But it'll go with anything.
Right.
Aside from being a beautiful color.
Okay. So, cool.
Very excited.
All right.
And I am working on picking out my next project, but in the meantime, Nora put up in our Facebook group that she finished her Battenberg blanket, and I'm like, oh, I better get going. So I am working on my Battenberg, but I am growing bored with crochet very quickly, so I have to do that in small stages.
Okay. All right. I'm working on my blanket. We're calling this the Mary Beth pattern because I'm kind of making it up as I go along.
Of the purple.
I am doing this in our 2021 Christmas Advent calendar mini skeins, and it was all based on the Nutcracker. So that's where I am right now. I'm finishing up the purple. I forgot that some of them were 2 10-gram minis.
Oh,
so
okay.
I found out with the purple that they're 2 10-gram minis.
It was the COVID year where we had to.
It wasn't as bad as 2020, but 2021 still was.
We still had a shortage of minis, so we had to kind of patchwork in.
But what I am doing is I am knitting. I'm taking a 20-gram mini or 2 10-gram minis, as the case may be, and knitting garter stitch, just going straight back and forth until I run out of the mini, and then I am using Snow White as my in-between. And what I am doing is either 5 or 6 rows of Snow White, depending on whether I start on a purl row or a knit row. I am winding up back at the beginning with, I'm always starting the Advent minis with a knit row. So I'm making sure I have at least 2 rows above my eyelets. So what I am doing is I do stockinette, then I do the 3rd row is whatever the 2nd row of knitting is in the stockinette is knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together all the way to the end. Yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together to the end. I make sure I have at least 1 knit row below and then a knit row above it. So it's like the middle. It's pretty much the middle of it. Anyway, that's what that is.
It's gorgeous.
And then it's going to be a throw blanket. My mom is using my habitation throw that I made with other minis, and it's the perfect weight for her during the summer. I think this is going to be the perfect weight for me during the fall and spring before I want really heavy duty blankets. Yeah. Just when, you know, you have a little bit of cool.
Something to cover you, yeah.
So, I love the colors. The colors of the Advent are so beautiful. So
this yellow with the white and everything.
It's gray. It's yellow and gray.
It is. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. So. Love it.
It is gorgeous. I'm just really, really enjoying it. So there, that's that. Okay. 4th color almost done and ready to move into the next thing of Snow White.
And that's all you want to do right now, right?
It really is. I don't want to. I have my twisted tees that I'm making from boho chic and twisted V's, not tees. It's the twisted V's tee from boho chic. And I'm doing it in Station 11. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm coming along really quite nicely. It's not as if but this is all I kind of want to work on. This is where my mind is right now. So I'm working on this and I have that to fall back on.
Work on what makes you happy.
That's it. Yeah. Do what makes you happy. Okay. It's not like I have time limits or anything like that. You know, I don't have any
job or anything.
Right.
No responsibilities.
None whatsoever. I'm a woman of leisure.
Living the life of luxury.
Yeah, I wish. Anyway, so that's where I am. Okay.
So that's all the knitting you're showing.
That is it, because that's all I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay. Cross stitch?
Cross stitch.
Do you bring cross stitch?
I brought my cross stitch.
Okay.
I am working on Spring Jasmine Tea by Madame Chantilly. And when we last met, I had finished the chicken, this little duck, and the pig. It's just about done. I had to do his nose. And now we have some new additions.
Oh my God! Look at him!
So now we have a rabbit and a chicken. A baby chick.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I have started on the goose.
That looks so good.
Doesn't it?
It really does.
I really love it. So I am now working on Mr. Goose. Then once I get his body in, I have just the bottom, their legs still to do because it's a different page, and the letters. So
We're going to be done it in no time.
Moving right along.
It looks so good.
Because all I want to do is cross stitch.
I want to cross stitch and then I fall asleep. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we've had kind of a year and I'm not sleeping well, so I keep falling asleep the minute I sit down and relax. Fall asleep.
Those damn chairs.
I know. Anyway, all right. This is my cross stitch that I'm working on. I'm doing Cloud Factory. In this house, we practice witchcraft. There you go. And this is what I've gotten done so far.
That's cool.
So I've added some books to the shelf, and then I've put in the ball of yarn with yesterday I did the needles.
Very cool.
It really is.
We should get some cross stitch done this afternoon. It's early, so. I'm
hoping that we will. Yeah. So maybe we'll do some cross stitching today, because I'd love to get some more done.
Yeah.
And I like the combination of the colors for the books. I love those two purples together.
Yeah.
And the blues together. I think they're really pretty. Her color combinations are really, really nice. I am doing whatever DMC floss we had, I'm using, and then for the colors that I didn't have, I stuck in fancy floss that we have, because we have a ton of fancy floss too. So
one thing we're not lacking is floss.
It's materials for just about any craft. But it called for some different greens, like it called for 4 or 5 different greens, and we didn't have them. So what I did was I put in some of the classic color works, and what's the other one? The Weeks Dye Works. I think that's it.
Yeah, and there's a G one too. Because I'm using pretty much all fancy on mine. Color and Cotton.
Yeah.
G.
C, whatever.
So yeah, Weeks, Color and Cotton, and Classic Color Works are the fancy flosses that we have a lot of.
Yeah.
Mostly color and cotton because we were part of her floss club for a while.
Yes. And then we were doing Fat Quarter Shop's floss.
Oh, we were doing Fat Quarters monthly one too, which was a classic colorworks.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of those. So we've got a lot of them in all different colors so that we can fill in where we need to, which is really very nice. So
it is, I mean, it's really nice to have the stash because then it's just when you want to start something, even if you don't have the DNC on hand, you can find a color.
Right.
I mean, I'm
sorry.
far enough along in my cross-stitch journey that I am totally fine with, oh, that calls for a green, this is a green, it's a different green. So
I'm also perfectly fine with subbing in just about anything, anywhere,
right,
as long as I like the color combination.
The only one I won't sub is my Heaven and Earth designs because that's a science.
Yes.
The way all those different colors are.
Oh, yeah. No, full coverage I'm not sure I would do just because they have different shades of like brown. They have 17 different shades of brown that if you do not get the exact shade that they're doing, the shadows
the whole thing off.
are thrown off. And then it just looks like a muddy mess. Whereas if you get exactly the right ones, then you're seeing the shadow of the ears or whatever. So yeah, no, the full coverage you do not mess with. Okay. All right. Those are my crafts.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Labor Day.
Yes. Go forth and create.
And we will see you on Friday live at noon Eastern time.
And we have some really fun things for the shop.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Join us. Please join us.
If not, you'll watch it afterwards and see.
Right.
Okay.
And if you want to come join us on Patreon, you'll get the sneak peek on Thursday.
Right.
And I will put links to everything down below.
Okay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.